So you're fifth, and your son is now sixth
Yeah. Our
generation.
son works with me. Yeah.
And he didn't go to school to be a baker. What?
I taught him everything.
Ah.
I mean, and when he was little, my wife Karen, as soon as they were born, like a week later, she'll be in the bakery. Maybe before that,
Right.
she'll be in the bakery with the two kids. And so because we don't have a babysitter, my wife was working with me. So we'll have a playpen in the back of the bakery,
Right.
and the two kids will be with us. So that's how it started.
I've been to your bakery, and the smell. I can't imagine him wanting to be anything else than a baker because it smells so awesome.
Yeah.
In that, and a special thanks to Karen because you're sitting here because we worked on her a bit, and then she said, "Well, okay, I'll ask him," but she was tough. But we liked her very much. So thanks, Karen. We're really happy you guys are here.
So I'll open my line of interrogation with this question.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're in the spotlight now. Looking back, what advice would you have given yourself when you were 16 years old?
When I was 16,
If you were 16, basically if 16-year-old you appeared sitting right over there
yeah,
out of nowhere and you could give him a piece of advice, what would it be?
give a piece of advice to my son.
To yourself.
Oh, to myself.
At 16 years old.
I'd say, go to college. Go to college and learn some job that is not as hard as a baker. Yeah.
But you love it.
Yeah, I love it, but it's hard.
Right.
And if I see, like my kid, he went to school, he went to college to do something else than a baker, and I would say, that's great. You don't want to be a baker, but,
It's in his blood.
I guess.
So what does your day look like? Most people have no idea the hours and dedication it is to be a baker.
Right now, I get up around 5:30, and get to the bakery, turn on the ovens, bake all the croissants. Once it's baked, I start making the pastries, fruit tarts, Napoleons.
Gail, could you
And-
cut to the pastries quickly?
And after that, in the afternoon, I have to mix the dough for the croissant for the next day. And between making Napoleon's fruit tarts and baking, you have to put the butter in the dough, and it goes on, and you're done when it's like 3 or 4 p.m.,
So you're on your feet for how many hours a day?
like 6-8 hours.
Oh,
I'm happy when I can take a lunch break for like 15 minutes. I can sit down. That's my excuse. I need to eat lunch, so I get 15 minutes or 10, and I sit down.
what does the bakery smell like in the morning?
In the morning, when you open we call that the proof box, where the croissant ferment, when they
Yes.
when they get bigger, the yeast. The smell of the yeast,
Yes.
fermentation.
That's your favorite smell?
Well, I like the smell, yeah.
I just imagine when you were saying the croissants and everything was baking that early. I mean, that would be like an experience for people. You know how chefs, you get to sit in the kitchen at the table. What's that called? I forget.
What?
Um,
Sitting in the kitchen?
Sitting in the kitchen at a table, watching
Oh,
him
yeah,
prepare the food.
Oh yeah, like the show with the MRL or Emerald Legacy, or yeah,
I was thinking you should have coffee with Xavier
yeah.
in the morning and just no one has to eat anything. Just have a cup of coffee
me.
and just watch you and take in the smell.
But they're gonna have a hard time following me because I go from room to room.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not like one spot. You have to walk there and walk back and go in the refrigerator, go in the freezer.
Other than your son, do you have any other assistants in the back with you?
No,
It's all you.
yeah.
Wow.
I
You
don't
make a
know.
lot of different things. It must. Do you make everything all at once, or you go thing by thing by thing by
No,
thing?
we do thing by things.
Okay.
I mean, the croissants is different because you need to put the butter in the dough, you put them in the fridge. So when they're in the fridge resting for like 20 minutes, half an hour, you do something else.
Because
And
like a Josephine takes 3 days, right?
yeah,
Talk me through that.
It-
How's a
first you
Josephine?
need to make the puff dough.
Okay.
So you need to mix the dough in 1 day, put it in the fridge. The next day, you have to put the butter in the dough the next morning, and you fold it twice, and you put it back in the fridge. And in the afternoon, you can do another fold, and after you can start baking them. And once they're baked, you can do the assembly. So you whip cream, you put the strawberry, the blueberries, and then they're done.
How do you cut them so perfectly into the squares where they don't? Because whenever I bite into one, it goes like this, whoop, and everything starts to fall out, which is a part of the fun. But how do you cut them?
I put them in the freezer for a little bit.
Ah,
So they get a little bit hard, and I cut them.
Much easier to cut. Mm.
I mean, you don't want them frozen because after you cannot cut
no.
them.
No,
So
no,
you,
right.
you need to time it right.
Perfect. So, as someone who does this professionally for a living, what is the biggest mistake that you see bakers making at home when they bake things? Because I don't think everyone's a good baker at all.
They don't use butter. Sometimes they don't use butter. If you use anything less than butter, if you make croissant, it won't come out perfect. If you shorten in or margarine, it won't be flaky. That won't work.
Do you make sourdough bread ever?
No, I don't make bread.
Okay.
And my dad never made bread either. I mean, he
You
did.
made baguette, right?
No.
No.
Oh.
Tell that story.
What, my dad made baguettes?
No, the guy that made baguettes for all the bakeries in the same building. For your grandfather, your aunts,
Oh.
uncles.
My grandfather had a bakery. He had 4 in the city, but he had a bakery where he hired a kid who was 16, and he said, "You want to be baker? I hire you." So he made the baguettes. He made baguettes and other breads. And after, my aunt took over my grandfather because he was too old. So my aunt worked in the same building, same bakery. The baker stayed. So at the time he was maybe 40. And after my aunt retired, her son, my cousin, took over the bakery, the same building, and the baker stayed with them. So the baker worked from 16 to 65 in the same bakery, making the same bread every day. I mean, 6 days a week. Yeah.
Did he eat his own bread?
Yeah, because sometimes I'll work with him.
Yes.
And at 9 a.m., because we were starting like at 1 a.m. baking, at 9 a.m. we'll have a casse-croûte, like a sandwich. So
Right.
we'll break a baguette, we'll put some saucisson, so dry sausage, little bit of butter, and we'll have a snack and a beer.
Wow.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
That's one thing for sure. You guys definitely know how to eat. One question. How did you figure out that butter was the secret to really good pastries? When did that happen? Was it something your dad taught you, or you always?
Yeah, I mean,
Was there one
there's-
morning when he came down and he said, "Xavier, if you want to have the best croissant ever, you have to put a lot of butter in them"? Or
It's not a lot of butter. It's because the butter, the melting point and everything, it stays firm in the dough. The margarine, if you take margarine, you leave it on the table, it's gonna be like almost like liquid. So you cannot put that in the dough. So some people, like if you want to make a cheap croissant, some people they'll mix margarine and shortening and flour together, so it'll be like more solid, but the taste is not the same.
So your dad didn't want you to be a baker.
No,
is that why you came here?
kind of, yeah.
So why did you come here? To America.
Besides to meet Karen.
I came here because I had my family before. My sister came here first when
Oh.
she was au pair, and after that my brother came here, and I was losing my job in the merchant marine, the marine marchand. So my brother said, "Hey, if you come over here, you'll get your green card because you're a pastry chef too. So if you come in the States, you can get your green card easily." So I got a sponsor and I came over here. And I worked in a restaurant making pastries for a couple of years because he was my sponsor and he went out of business. So I looked for another sponsor because I had no papers. So I went to work in a wholesale bakery. We were delivering grocery stores and things. That's how I learned how to make a bad croissant.
Oh,
I mean, it was okay, but it was not like butter. So I worked there for like 3 years. And the guy, the owner, he was not in a hurry to sign my immigration papers. And at the time, I met Karen by the time. So I got married and that's it. I got my paper this way because I could not get it through a sponsor.
when you had your pastries go to a very famous house
Yeah.
in Washington, D.C., was that a monumental moment for you?
Yeah, I was proud of it. You know,
So,
the caterer said we were doing a lot of catering and through caterers and coffee shop and others. And caterer called, said, "Hey, I need some pastries. I need miniature pastries like we have here." And he said, "That's for the White House in the 90s. That was in the 90s. That was under Bill Clinton." And he said, also need some charlotte, strawberry charlotte. It's like a mousse cake with strawberries."
Oh.
So I said, "Okay, we can do that." So that was kind of nice.
yeah, that's
It's been
really
very exciting.
yeah, that's
To know
really
that
cool.
it was going to go to the White House
Yeah.
of all places. Must have been an honor.
So, what did you think? Did you think, what's next? What can I do to top this?
No,
Or just
I keep going.
keep going?
Yeah.
So, you told me you really like to create.
Yeah, my wife and I, we're a team. So we moved to Newport on the Aquidneck Island in 2011. And Karen, my wife, said, "We need to make dark and stormy because dark and stormy is the drink for the sailors." And, so like, okay, we're going to do a pastry special. And so I came out with a pound cake and spiced rum and caramel spiced buttercream, and we made the dark and stormy. Because the first time we came to Newport, I mean, not the first time, but during the summer, we were invited on a sailboat during the folk festival. So that was great. And the lady on the boat, one of the owner of the boat, said, "Hey, we're in Newport. You have to have a dark and stormy. We could listen to the folk music and stuff." And like, dark and stormy. And so that was like special.
How cool is that?
We love it. I haven't tried one yet, but we probably will soon. So for me, sailing is freedom. I sail. I know my dad was telling you I was sailing earlier today. So I want to ask you, what was the first day that you had your moped like back in France?
My moped. It was freedom. I had 50 cc's and I could go visit my grandma. I could go shopping. I could go visit my friends. I was 14. I was like,
Where were you? What
in
was it like?
Reims, in Reims.
Ah.
Reims. Yeah. Well, that was my hometown.
And how long did you have the moped for?
Until I was 16, because at 16 you can have a small motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
So I bought a motorcycle, and I was going fast. I
Yeah.
was going like 50 miles an hour. Like,
Dangerous.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Now you have a Harley, right?
I crashed a couple of times, but it was okay.
Oh dear. Oh, I hear the.
But yeah, now I have a Harley. I went through BMWs, and now I have a Harley because I came to America. I said, I need a Harley.
Have to have a Harley. Where do you like to ride your Harley?
Not on the highway.
No.
So where we live
dangerous?
in Portsmouth, I go to Little Compton, Tiverton, and the small roads,
Beautiful.
back roads.
Yeah, I never got motorcycles on highways.
I don't like.
Loud. So wait a minute, did your dad surprise you with the moped, or did you go to a store and buy it?
No,
or-
my dad. I got my moped from my brother first, and down from my brother. But after I got a new one because I helped my dad paint the house, the outside of the house. He said, when we're done, you can get a brand new moped. So in 1 week, we painted the house. Like, I was working hard.
Yes, Julius seems to find all this energy when there's a reward
yeah.
at the end. If not,
No, show me the incentive.
It's-
Show me the result.
it's
right?
like pulling teeth to get anything done.
So other than the moped, growing up in France, what does a day look like when you were a kid for you? Wake up in the morning. I know there's the
Wake up
smell.
in the morning, like to go and help the bakers, and after I'll go to school. And
Did you like school?
no, school was not for me.
Why not?
I was kind of I was bored in school.
Ah.
Always bored. So I was kind of a clown. I was making everybody else laugh.
Mm.
I was a bad kid
Like what? What do you mean, bad kid?
He wasn't a bad.
because I was bored.
Right.
I didn't want to go to school.
No.
I wanted to go in the bakery.
And you know, the serious comment about that is once you really know what your passion and your truth and what you want to do, it's really tough to be doing all that schoolwork.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you don't really see how that fits into the picture for what it is that you're going to be doing and really want to do.
You're right.
For other people, they got to explore and figure out and see if they find something. And school's a pretty good place to do that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, do you remember a particular moment or story from your time back in school? Maybe something funny you did?
I don't remember, but I don't remember what I said. But one time the teacher started to cry.
Oh,
Dear.
Now I feel bad, but you know, when you're a kid, you're like,
oh my God.
so I had to go see the principal.
What is it? Is seeing the principal in France any different than seeing the
No, I think
principal in
it's
the
like
U.S.?
here. It's
It's
like
the
same.
same. They say when we were in France, we found out that French McDonald's for kids.
Yeah.
I know McDonald's doesn't compare with your pastry, but it's all organic.
Oh, yeah.
And
it could be
and-
in France, yeah.
yeah,
Could
and
be.
kids, at least it was, and food for kids and kids especially in France
Yeah.
seem very revered.
Yeah.
Like I think
You're right.
the snack that I read that is most popular in France for school kids is you go to school, you have a croissant in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then a chocolate croissant in the afternoon.
Yeah. Or when I was a kid, it was like a sub roll with chocolate. You'll put chocolate inside, and yeah, same.
Oh,
They were drawing the contrast between the American school lunch and the
Mhm.
organic farm prepared
Oh, yeah.
school lunch that they serve in France.
you jealous?
But I have a story for you. When I came in America
Mhm.
in 1985, my first day of work, I took the bus. With some, I had a hard time taking the bus, but I did because I didn't speak English very well. And first thing I did, I'm like, I need to go to a fast food, get a burger. You know, I'm in America. So I go to I think it was Roy Rogers at the time. And I go there and I said, can I have a burger and fries and a beer? And they're like, huh? I said, a beer. You know, I'm like, maybe I don't speak English. My accent is bad. Beer. They're like, oh, we don't serve beer. Because in France, they serve beer. So
For breakfast.
it was like 10 o'clock.
Brunch.
or-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they. I can't even imagine the expression they said that with.
I don't remember, but I didn't get my beer.
Yeah, right, exactly. You get a soda instead
Yeah.
here. What other moments from your childhood really stick out to you? If someone said to you, how does your childhood affect you now as an adult? Other than the time you spent in the bakery, are there any other memories from that time that are really vivid in your mind?
Or that have contributed to your personality. Like, do you feel like you've had the same personality your whole life? Or there are aspects of your childhood that molded your personality?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I just remember my parents didn't have time for us.
Right.
So we were kind of by ourselves, with my brother and sisters. My mom was busy working at the bakery and the cashier and everything. And my dad, once he was done baking, he'll go hunt or we'll never see him. I mean, he was working really hard, but he was playing hard too. So we didn't have like Christmas. We never had a Christmas.
Because you were baking?
Yeah, because they were open on Christmas Day.
Oh.
So we'll open our Christmas gifts the day before Christmas, but he was not like, my wife Karen, she's like, hey, it's Christmas, it's the good times. I'm like, I never had that.
Right.
Holidays were busy.
Right. Probably the busiest.
Yeah, Easter, same, was busy.
And how about now?
Oh, now Karen
Make sure.
takes care of us. She taught me a lot about holidays. And
I saw a picture, I'll add it in later, of the Christmas tree in the store. It looks wonderful.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys decorate. Whoever's in charge of the decorating is doing a very, very good job.
But when I was a kid, there was no. It was.
Did you feel like you were missing something not having that? Or
No, I
you
didn't
just
know.
know? Right. You didn't know.
We were putting our shoes under the radiator because we had no fireplace. Our shoes because we had no stockings, and we'll get an orange and
Oh.
and an orange and we'll get a gift. But that was it.
Yeah, Grandpa used to tell me you didn't get gifts in your stocking. You got nuts, fruit,
Yeah.
and change, coins,
Yeah.
which I was amazed to hear that because our stockings were always filled with gifts.
Yeah.
Do you feel closer to your dad when you bake now?
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, he passed away, but he was
Sorry to hear
always
that.
in my memory. And my grandpa.
Did you feel closer to your grandpa?
No, my grandpa died when I was really young.
Oh,
He died from the German gas, the mustard gas.
oh my God.
So
Thank you
I
for
was 7
not
years
saying.
old
Yeah.
when he died. Yeah, I always knew him under oxygen.
Wow.
Yeah, he died from the war. But he had 4 bakeries, so I don't know how he did it. I don't know. I knew him on a wheelchair too. So I don't know the whole story of that.
He's always telling me things that my great-grandfather told him about life that I've taken. Like, you should use this half as much as you use these
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah,
you
yeah.
have 2 of these. He doesn't say it like that. He said it much more gracefully. Was there
You have
anything?
2 of these
There you go.
and 1 of these. So you need to listen at least twice as much as you talk.
So my question to you is, was there anything that he said to you that was particularly important that you still remember? And
My dad?
or your granddad?
Or my grandma? No, I don't remember my grandpa.
How about
I have stories about my grandpa because I heard from my mom or my grandma. So I know he was really a good businessman, but
Like what? I'm curious.
huh?
Okay, can you tell me one?
Like he lent money to people, and and he had 19 bakeries, not at one time, but he moved 19 times. He always told my grandma, from what I heard, said, "Don't unpack all the boxes because we are not going to be here long," and that's what he did
so why would he do that? What strategy is that?
because he was making money. Like I remember one time he opened a bakery across from another one,
Yes.
and from what I heard, he made coupons, like 50 cents off or whatever it was, and he put the other guy out of business. And after he sold the bakery, that's how a business guy he was. I mean, it's not fair, but that's business. I could not, Karen and I could not do that. But
No.
he was in the 40s or 50s.
Right.
Yeah, different time.
Yeah.
Very different time.
And do your parents remember the war?
Yeah, my dad was prisoner for the German twice.
What was that like? Did he ever talk about it?
No, not much.
No.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
He went back to his parents' house, knocked on the door, and the German picked him up again.
So
after he escaped.
were you born at that time? Were you alive?
I was
No,
born
no.
in 57.
Oh.
I'm old.
No. You're
Yeah, not old. I was born in 58.
only one. I was born in 2006. Anyway, and I know that I asked about a lesson from your grandpa, and you were about to say from your dad. So just to finish that train of thought, was there anything that your dad taught you that you would pass forward to other people?
Invest money.
Ah.
All I remember from my dad, he made money, investing money. I mean, he always told me, you don't make money selling croissants. You need to put your money somewhere. And he's right. I mean, selling croissant is not a money maker. You need to save some and put it somewhere. And he always told me, buy some real estate.
Good advice.
Yeah, great advice.
Very good advice. Did you follow his advice?
Yeah, I did.
So who is a better baker? Your mom or your dad?
Oh, my dad.
And she came from a family of
Yeah.
bakers.
Yeah.
And they met how?
They met in a baker's party, baker's ball.
Baker's Ball.
There was an area like a
The food must have been good.
state, if you want.
The food must have been very good.
I guess.
Yeah.
The dessert.
So there was like a state, like
Yes.
in French, the Marne, an area. And all the bakers at the party every year. Every baker in the area at the party. So that's how my dad met my mom.
Kind of how you met Karen.
I met Karen in a DC area. I used to live in Maryland, and I had work in Virginia in a wholesale bakery. And there was a party in Virginia, so I went to this party for St. Patrick's Day. And there was two guys having the party in the one house, two roommates. So I met Karen there. And she knew the other guy, I knew the other one. So Karen said, where do you live? And I said, I live in Maryland. And she said, oh, me too. And we found out we live a mile from each other.
Wow.
And I used to play tennis every day. Every afternoon I play tennis. And there was a park next to the house. So I told Karen, I said, I play tennis a lot. She said, oh, I love to play tennis. I used to play tennis too. So she asked me where it was, and I told her. And so since she lived close, a couple of weeks after the party, she came over. She's like, hey, I see you. So we exchanged phone number there.
Do you think she planned that?
I don't know.
That was a resounding no from Karen. That's the biggest joke that I have with my wife. I said, you chased me. Who's kidding who here?
Yeah. Who kissed the one first?
Right, exactly.
So, what gives you purpose, Xavier?
What?
What gives you purpose in your life? What do you think?
Why do you get up every morning, go to the bakery? It's just what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't mind getting up early, but my body now can feel it.
Yeah.
But it's a reward when you come home, have a home, and look at the water, and to see everything I have. I'm happy with that, and that's what I work for.
So quality of life.
Hmm.
So what would you say to people besides you need to invest to make your life have the quality that you want it to motivate you enough to do your work?
But you need to have a job that you like. If you go to your work and you're like, I have to go to work again, I don't like that.
Speaking of knowing what you like, did you like working on the merchant boats for all those years?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, okay.
Why?
So wait a minute. First of all, for some backstory,
I went to school first. I went to school for 3 years for that.
but it wasn't voluntary, was it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
it was. I thought
because
your dad
because
said.
I didn't like school,
Ah.
my parents sent me to a technical school. And then I loved it because I was working my hands and I was making, I was working on engine parts. And after you see it work and you see your work, you see what you're producing.
Right.
And that's what I like. I don't like to work with numbers, say like 2 + 2, 4, and there's nothing there. So the school, I love the school too. It was fun to learn something you could do with your hands.
How many countries do you think you went to?
I don't know, but maybe 20.
Wow. And
Any
is there-
favorites?
Yeah.
Brazil.
Ah.
Why Brazil?
Wow, you didn't even.
I was 16 at the time, and it was fun. And you're 16 and you don't have your parents behind you. You're free. Like.
When is that when you would say you feel the most free in life? Traveling or
yeah.
on your motorcycle, or when would you say you
traveling.
feel the most free?
Traveling. Yeah.
When do you feel the most unfree? I don't know if unfree is a word, but we're going with it. Do you ever feel?
When I work with customers, customers want something, you need to do it. Then it's not fun anymore. Some depends what you're making.
I know everyone has a rude customer at some point in their
Yeah.
business. So, have you ever had any?
Oh yeah.
And what did they do?
Never satisfied.
I don't know. But there's some unhappy customers sometimes. They're mostly happy, but sometimes they're like there's one who doesn't like your cake. One time I made a whole big sheet cake. It was like this big, and it was ice with chocolate glaze. So once the chocolate glaze is on, you cannot touch it. So it was Happy Birthday Jen, Jen. So I put flowers, to make it pretty.
We're gonna call out Jen. Jen, if you're watching, you're in trouble. Okay, go ahead.
And the customer comes in, pick up the cake, a big cake for like 80 people. Oh, I don't want any flowers on the cake. No, because Jen is a boy.
Oh.
Well, nobody told me that.
I wouldn't think Jen's a boy.
Me either. So, and she would not take the cake, so took the cake back, scrape everything, because I could not fix it. I could not take out the flowers, and after he was showing, she came back an hour later. So, scraped the cake, readied it, no flowers, and so she took it, but that was kind of a bad experience. So now on my cakes, I don't want to put flowers because I'm like, people, maybe they don't want flowers.
Well, when we order a cake from you, even if it has my name on it, I'm very happy with flowers.
Or you tell me you don't want flowers, or you say blue flowers, whatever. But if they don't say anything,
You don't know. Yeah.
Do you like decorating the cakes as much as making them, or do you like making the cakes?
I rather make the cakes.
Yes.
Because of that.
Right.
You don't know what the customer wants, what color they want.
So did that make you more specific when you take private orders with your questioning? Would you ask people?
Oh, but usually I don't take orders. You
Oh.
know, the cashiers take orders or Karen.
Oh, right.
So Karen, she knows to ask, what's the occasion? You know, is it for a boy? Happy birthday, Pat. Is that a boy or a girl?
Right.
So she asks, but sometimes the cashiers, they're busy, they don't ask, and so I don't know. So I rather make the cake and plain.
So if I ask Karen, what's your favorite thing Xavier makes?
Yeah.
What would she say?
What's Karen's favorite thing?
Yes.
Karen's favorite thing. She likes hazelnut.
Ah.
She likes hazelnut cream, buttercream with maybe a chocolate cake.
we got a yes on that.
You got it right. Speaking of getting it right, we'll be doing a new segment in a few minutes, so I'll be getting ready, and that has some trivia involved, so stay tuned for that. To get back to when you were on the merchant boats and in Brazil,
Yeah.
what about Brazil was particular? I know you said you're 16 and it was fun and it was free, but other than that, was there anything else about Brazil or another country that particularly stood out to you when you were traveling?
Another country? No. But Brazil, you know, the weather was always nice in the north of Brazil. And I loved it. The
Beautiful
were
people.
Nice. Yeah, people were nice. We'll go to the mercado, whatever, and we'll buy hammock and souvenir. It was nice. I didn't like the Iran and Iraq, and
Oh.
I didn't want to get out of the boat there.
Were you afraid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a guard with a machine gun at the entrance of the boat. Like, I really don't
No, I think I'll stay on the
yeah.
on the boat.
Did no one ever attacked you, did they?
No.
Okay, good.
That
Yeah.
is not.
I think the man with machine gun kept them at bay.
Yeah.
So, did you feel unsafe when you were on the boat
Where? At sea?
at sea or
No.
ever?
No, just one time.
Just one time?
One time we were going to New York, and at the time we had, you know, in the 70s when I started, the boats, there were no containers. They were, but not on our boat. So the boats was like nice and low. Now the boats you have, they're like piled with containers, and it's really dangerous with the wind and stuff. So the one we were on, it was 1983, I think. And we got in a storm, and the boat was like rocking, and we had the engine was broken. So it was really bad. So then I got scared.
And were you seasick?
No,
No.
but everything was moving.
And are you a good swimmer?
Not a good swimmer. I can swim, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Uh,
And did you guys put life preservers
no.
on? Oh.
How big was the boat?
I don't know. You know the boat when you go
Like
to
a big tanker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, not a big I mean the big tanker that now they're really big, but
Medium tanker.
you know when you go to Cranston or
Yeah.
you see boats.
Those size.
So, yeah.
So was it resolved? What happened? The weather went
Yeah,
away
well,
and
yeah, we went through the weather, and when we got to the New York, they replaced the engine part that was bad.
was that the most scared you've ever been in your life, you think?
Yeah.
That moment. Why was it so? Did you think you were going to die?
I could have died, yeah.
And did you stay calm or did you kind of start to lose your
Oh,
mind?
I stayed calm, but I had some friends were going crazy.
Were they screaming?
Yeah.
Were they praying?
I don't know. I didn't see them. They were going in their room. And
Yeah. How many people on a boat?
At the time, we were like about 25 maybe.
Oh,
Yeah. When we started in the 70s, we were like 30, 32. But as the year go by, everything was automatic. And
right.
so now there's less people on the boat.
Was that hard work?
Yeah. Hot and noisy.
Yeah.
The main engine is not noisy, but it's the auxiliaries, to produce electricity, really noisy and hot. So now I cannot hear very well, but
Oh,
I'm okay.
I wouldn't have thought it was the auxiliary engines.
No, the main engine is not too noisy.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, the one we had in the 70s. Now they are smaller engines, so they're more noisy. They're noisier.
Ah, I see.
And the problem is the turbo too. The turbine.
Yes.
Like,
Turbine. Right.
Loud, yeah.
Yeah, that
Give
that
you
what
give you
I
a
would
headache.
imagine.
But now in the new boats, they have a cabin with air conditioning, and they have all the controls there, so it's better.
Ah.
The
They
old
fixed
boats
that
didn't
problem.
have that.
So to fast forward in time a lot,
What's your favorite champagne?
that isn't where I was going, but
I
that's
know.
okay.
I don't know.
Give me a couple.
I mean, I like Veuve Clicquot,
Ah.
but people don't realize in France you have many brands of champagne, and Laurent Perrier is good.
Did you write that down?
No, what was the name?
Laurent Perrier.
Oh, good luck me spelling.
I
that.
actually-
I'll let you know.
You
later.
remember it. Yeah,
And
tell me after.
I have some bottles of that.
That's right, for me to drink champagne. So, your eyes open, and it's 1991, and it's opening day of your bakery. Tell me this story. Your first bakery.
First bakery.
Was everything smooth and easy?
Oh. It was kind of a panic, but we were waiting for customers to come in. But it was okay.
Tell me the story. Tell me about the day. Can you remember? Or the week, or in general?
Ooh. I don't remember. We were making a lot less product that we do now because I was by myself. So I didn't make that much product. But and I remember I made some mousse cakes, and customers are like, "What's that?" So we had to give samples because they didn't know what a mousse cake was. So after it was okay, and first I made a French buttercream, and French buttercream has egg yolks in there, and customer didn't like that the buttercream was kind of yellow, so I had to change that. So I made a Italian buttercream or Swiss buttercream, white, no yolks in there.
Did you revert back, or do you still use
No, I still use the same.
Italian buttercream?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. So, do you remember your first customer?
No. I remember the first big customer. Not big, but who ordered a lot. At the time, it was a lot for us. She ordered some, we made her some swan made out of puff pastry.
Oh,
Like a cream puff.
right.
It was like a swan. So she was really happy. She had a big party somewhere.
It must have been probably a baby shower or something like that.
I don't know.
Do you like when people come in and request unusual things so you get to use your creative juices to come up with stuff?
If I have the ingredients, because I don't want to. If I don't have the ingredients to do it, I don't want to do it. 'Cause I don't want to buy more stuff that I'm gonna use only once.
Oh,
So sometimes they order something special, and I try to make as close as possible with what we have on hand.
has it been harder to get your ingredients lately?
Not anymore, but it's still expensive.
Oh, I can't even. Couldn't even go there.
I use frozen pasteurized eggs. They come in a bucket, frozen. And a couple years ago, we used to pay $35 for a bucket of 30 pounds. We pay now almost $100.
I was gonna guess 95.
Yeah. Depends on the supplier.
Right.
Yeah, because and I'm
insane.
thinking the eggs are going down right now, but since they're frozen, they may be 6 months old.
Right.
You don't know. So they're still expensive. But usually now we get them. But a few years ago, it was really hard. I'll order like 3 tubs of eggs and I'll get only one.
Right.
Yeah.
When I talk to other people the last couple of years, they all tell me the same thing.
Yeah, prices are not going down yet.
No.
Not for us. Maybe in a grocery store, but not yet.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
So-
Hopefully,
Go ahead.
hopefully that will change soon.
Yeah. That's what I expect.
Right.
No, absolutely. So if I wanted to be a baker, brand new, I have no experience. In fact, I'm not a good cook. But if I wanted to be a baker, what advice would you and own a bakery and start a business? What advice would you give me? As someone who's done it for 34
Yeah.
years?
So, yeah. Work with somebody else first. Go look at some bakers, see how they work. You know what hours they do and everything, and ask them questions and stuff.
So go get experience.
Really
and,
see.
and after you need to find a local, because you need to find a local to rent. And I would say buy equipment used, because if you buy brand new equipment, or if you have a lot of money, you can buy everything new, but it's a lot of money. So I would say buy everything new and start like that. And after a while, you can get a leasing equipment and get better equipment. But
So I'm curious, break down the finances for me of when you started your first bakery. What did you spend on what?
I think we spent $70,000
Total.
plus the building. I mean, we rented from a shopping center, but we were lucky. We found a bakery that was going out,
Right.
and we bought most of the equipment there. And after we had to buy some other pieces of equipment, but
So it was all 70,000 was equipment mostly, and a little bit was starting stuff.
and some plumbing but that was 91.
Do you have any other advice for someone starting a bakery or a business in general?
It's hard work. If you want to spend time on vacation and with your family, just don't do it, because you need to work.
Do you think it was worth it?
Because he loves what he does.
Right.
How much have things changed over the years? Or are they pretty much the same other than pricing?
Yeah, that's about the same.
So what was your schedule like when you got started? No vacation.
4 to 8.
4 in the
mor-
morning to
4
8 at
8
night.
at night. And Karen, my wife, was working for the Navy, so she was paying the bills. Because there's no way I wasn't making enough money to pay everything, pay the supplies and everything else.
And how long did you have to do that for?
About a year. And after I started to have help.
Is that every day?
First, no, I think we closed 1 day a week.
So 6 days a week.
Yeah, 6 days a week.
We could do the math. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, but I was young. Younger.
I know.
I think a Harley Davidson keeps you young.
And Karen was working for the Navy, and after work she'll come help me. So
wow.
we had no kids at the time.
4 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah, one time a sales guy wanted to meet with me to show me some paper supplies or whatever to sell, and he said, "What time can I see you? What time you get there?" I said, 4 to 8. He said, "In the morning or the afternoon?"
Should have said 3:30. You wouldn't have had to deal with him. And well, I've got a bunch of questions here, but I wanted to ask Do you like working with your son now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's really good.
He's very good. Oh, good. Okay.
I had some
I think I
interns.
annoy him working with him.
No,
No.
I leave him alone. I leave him alone, and he's perfect.
Hmm.
You know, I had interns before from culinary schools,
Yes.
and you need to watch them all the time.
Right.
Mm.
Would you say your son's a natural?
He's precise. So, yeah, you know, if there's something, he asks me, but he is really, if I tell him to do one thing, he's doing one thing. And I don't have to watch him.
And do you have the recipes written down, or are they all?
Yeah, I have written down. Because when we were in Maryland, I had to sell the business. So I had to do I gave all my recipes away
Right.
to the business.
Speaking of that, how's your cookbook coming along?
Karen wanted to do a cookbook.
Ah.
He never went through yet. Why, can you help?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe with filming it, if you want to do video cookbook. But I'm not writing. No, I'm not a writer. But I saw that in an interview you did a little while ago that you mentioned you're thinking about a cookbook.
Yeah.
I think it was when you first opened in Middletown.
A video cookbook with your accent
Well,
would be a winner.
So if you had to start over, and I asked this to him a little while ago, if tomorrow morning you woke up with nothing and you had to start all over again, but you got to retain all the knowledge that you've learned up to this point, what would you do?
I like to
Just
do
you,
this-
no Karen.
I like to do the same thing I did before.
You do it all over again.
Travel on a boat. I mean, not the boats they have now. I don't want to be on a container boat. I don't want that. But
So it sounds like you don't have many regrets.
No.
Or do you?
No.
Do you have any?
no, I'm good.
No, I mean, I don't know. I have regrets. But anyway, we can talk about
No, that's when you start every day with a chocolate croissant.
that. Right.
No.
Then there's
No regrets.
And a cappuccino.
And a cappuccino.
Mm.
So
That's right. You do serve cappuccino.
Yeah,
I'm not a big espresso drinker,
yeah.
but the best espresso I've ever had, smoothest, most non-acidic, was in Paris. Julius was young. We needed a bathroom. So we
Got an espresso.
we walked in and I said, it's an emergency. And they said, oh, just use the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I was very thankful that they did that. And we ordered some pastries and an espresso. We went back for espresso every day while we were
Nice.
there.
Good.
Because I'd never,
See, even me going to the bathroom leads to the perfect outcome.
if you can let go in life and trust in the process, you have no regrets and you'll do it all over again. That's not saying it's easy. That's not saying there weren't difficult times, but to just do it
Yeah.
and have the perseverance to know, hey, this is it for me. This is what I chose
Yeah.
to do. And just be open.
You
I-
mentioned
I like-
merchant.
I like everything I did, like going to school in Marseille and for 3 years and go on the boat. I love that.
What did you learn about life on the boat? I'll leave the question right there.
But, I don't know, being responsible by yourself, being responsible.
Was it ever scary to you that you left your family and was on this boat?
No, it was scary for my mom.
Yes.
But, because I told you we had no holidays,
Right.
It's not the same
Do you ever get overwhelmed now?
around.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed? No. I mean, during the holidays, we have a lot of work, but you just take one cake at a time, little bit quicker. And if I'm really busy, I just get up really early, so I don't want to panic. Like sometimes even now on weekends, on Saturdays, if you have a lot of cakes, I just get up at 4 or 5 instead 5:30, so I'm more relaxed.
Has there been a particularly crazy holiday season of one year that sticks out in your mind?
No,
No, every year is crazy.
yeah, every year.
Well, that's good.
So is business as good in Newport as it was down in DC?
It's not the same clientele.
Different.
Yeah, in here we sell more kind of sandwiches and a lot of quiche. In DC, we sold more bigger cakes every day.
Oh,
Yeah. Here, I just sell small cakes. It's not the same clientele. Yeah. But the croissant is the same. They sell the same croissants. Yeah.
always.
Standing over here by the pastries, and it smells incredible.
Must be from the heat.
Yeah, right. No, go ahead. Keep talking for a few more minutes, and I'll be back.
I have found that when I don't judge myself, I'm free enough to take what comes. In your life, it sounds like you've done that. You've just
Yeah.
been in the moment and go with what comes.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. For so many people, that's so difficult. Would you consider yourself someone that has to constantly be in control in every aspect?
No.
Right.
I just do my own things and know what I need to do, and I'm doing it.
And do you feel like you're in a zone when you're baking? Like, do you feel different?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm baking, like you came to the bakery and tried to talk to me, I cannot concentrate because I have work to do.
Right.
Because I work like I'm making my buttercream, but at the same time I have to make some fruit tarts or whatever. So I do 2-3 things at one time, and I cannot do anything else.
And do you like that? Are you more efficient multitasking than? Yeah. I kind of felt that way.
All right, so you explain the rules to the game while I go figure out the
Huh?
technicals.
What?
So you hold this, and then in a minute, you'll press here. Do you know how to play this game?
No.
All right, so I'll show you. Since we're live, this happens, okay? Your goal is to not hit anything. So you swipe side to side.
So you move like that?
Yes,
Okay.
but try to not let that happen. Okay? And then to make it even more annoying, I'm going to ask you, so try again. I'll give you 3 tries. Just practice. No, wait.
Are you trying to make us feel old?
No. Let's try again. Let's see. This will all be edited out. So, wait. So now, do you see how there's a train there? So you want to get out of the way of the train. And now go to the left. Okay.
Huh? The left.
I'm sorry. All right, one more try. Maybe I have to pick a different game. This is the most popular game in the world.
Oh yeah. I have
Okay,
to ask
wait.
my kid.
Okay.
So the train.
Avoid the trains and other obstacles. So left. Okay, right. Oh, okay. All right, well, this will be a very, very quick round. So we'll try this. Because we have to move on. And all right, so wait a minute. I'm going to go over there, explain the rules. I'm going to go talk to Gail for a minute, and then press play when I tell you. Okay? You can talk for a minute if you want. Sorry.
I have to tell my
So
kid.
yes, I'm not wired to play these games.
I have to tell my kid about this game. he knows all of them. He knows the music. He knows who wrote the music.
Right. This is well after my time.
Okay.
Remember, I told you I was born in 57.
It's okay. We tried. It's whatever you do is fun. It's okay. So we'll see. You're gonna be the first person on our leaderboard, so no pressure. Okay. So here are the rules. Based on the distance you run in the game, there's a score that's given to you.
Yeah.
And then I have some 2000s American history trivia questions for you. So if you can,
American history?
yes, but
Okay.
it's recent American history. It's
This
from the
is not
2000s.
French. I'm not good in French history.
For every question you get right, we'll add another 10 points to the score of your running in the game. But I only get to ask you questions as long as you're running. So you have to stay alive in the game. You can't
Alright.
die. Okay.
I don't think I'm going to stay alive too long.
All right, Gail, ready? Cut to 4, and you click play.
When?
Now.
Now,
All right.
All right. What's the call sign of the president's helicopter?
The cosine, what? What? The what?
The call sign of the president's helicopter. The president of the United States, his
what?
helicopter.
Air Force. Air Force.
Very
right,
close.
His plane is Air Force
Yeah,
One.
Air Force One.
What's the helicopter?
You get 3 tries at the question.
It's kind of what you did.
All right, I guess we're giving hints in this section.
You
Begins
were,
with M.
The Marine.
yeah,
Yes, you got it.
you
Good.
got it.
Okay.
Marine one.
That's 10 points for you for that one. All right, you get one more try at the game.
I play?
Yes, you
Yes.
press play. Ready?
Play.
Go.
All right.
What state's electoral votes ultimately decided, I don't know this one, the 2000 presidential election?
2000?
Yeah, the year 2000.
What state?
Karen
What
knows.
state?
Do you know? What is it? Yeah, she's right. There you go. All right, in honor of
All right,
Karen's-
Karen, how do you know that?
We'll do
That's
an
why I
extra 10
married
points.
her.
Okay, so we'll wrap up with a few extra questions.
And did you see how intense everyone was when we were asking the trivia questions? Everyone was like, everyone here, I felt the energy get really intense.
You're gonna do that game at some point too, but we'll
You're
do it. We'll
dreaming.
do it off camera.
You're dreaming.
You know, maybe this list is both a good and a bad thing for me. You ask a question while I pick a good one.
So in my life, I always thought I knew everything. And there was one day, I was a senior in college,
Yeah.
and I really, I'm finishing my education because I didn't want to go to graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the least educated of anyone in my family with just being undergrad. And I thought I had it all known. I was ready to go out and conquer the world. And then I started interviewing. And I began to realize maybe I don't know everything. And it was in that moment that I realized what I needed to know was what's going to make me successful and what's going to make me happy. Like it came to me because I felt like I was playing everyone else's game in these interviews and not playing my life game. When that clarity happens, it's very motivating to me. Like, now I was really ready to go because I lost the delusion that I know everything. And there's so much more that I have to learn. And I swear that's what keeps me young in spirit and open
Yeah.
and not talking about my bodily functions
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people my age do. And when they start, I tell them to stop, that I'm not old
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I suspect you're the same way.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you this question. Does your desire to create, is that what gives you a sense of purpose and clarity? Or what is it, because we're pretty much the same age, that keeps you going now? Because there are a lot of us out there that there were things that motivated them when they were younger. And if they're not feeling as healthy as they used to feel, they kind of want to just shut down and end. And don't want to learn how to play a video game, or don't want to figure out the technology to change channels on their TV.
No, I'm good. I like to learn technology. It's fine.
Right.
But what keeps me going in my business is the customers.
Right.
You know, they like what I'm doing. They like what I eat. They like
So
they like what I'm doing. So
you're still fulfilling the need.
Yeah.
Your purpose.
Yeah.
For you and them.
mhm.
And to me, that's the ultimate balance, when you can do that. Even for the people who don't like flowers.
Yeah, you put these away. Like,
Exactly. And it doesn't stop you.
No,
It doesn't. It is what it is.
he would have stopped me like a year after I opened my business. But I've been in business so long. If somebody said, "Oh, I don't like your croissants," doesn't matter, because there's 5,000 people who like my croissants. So,
Exactly. And everybody has an opinion.
yeah, and everybody has his own taste.
Exactly.
You know, if you were raised eating buttercream, that you can feel the sugar between your teeth, and that's what you love, don't buy my cakes, go to across the street, you know. And I
We
said
won't
that
name
to a
what
customer-
grocers across
I
the
said that
street.
to a customer one time. Because I have a story.
Okay.
One customer come back with a box, like 12 inch by 12, 1 foot by 1 foot. There's one pastry in there. She said, "My sister bought this pastry for a party," and my sister said, "We didn't like them. They're not. We didn't use butter, and they don't taste right." So I go in the first. I got mad first. You know, like already it didn't go right. So I went in the back. I grabbed the whole case of 36 pounds of butter, and I put it on the counter, and I said, "This is butter. That's what we use." She said, "Yeah, but I didn't like the pastries, and they didn't taste right." So I said, "You know what you're doing?" I said, "You take this box. 2 miles away, there's a grocery store, and that's where you're going to go get your pastries." And I didn't say, "I'm sorry." I didn't say anything. I sent her to the grocery store, and was it? Because she made me mad.
And you're doing the best you're doing.
It was a slap in the face for me.
Yeah, I think if someone comes in and insults the hours and hours of hard work to make something,
So
but I mean, how ridiculous. They ate the whole box and didn't like them.
I think she just
remember
wanted
that?
some money back or something, because it was her sister who did the pastries. It was not her.
Oh.
Craziness.
Very silly. There are some crazy
So there are
people.
customers like that, and I understand. You like the pastries you had when you were little. They didn't taste like mine. That's fine, but don't come back and tell me I'm not doing it right.
Don't do it unless you can be proud of it. Simple.
Yeah.
And then, so what I say to him, when you're in your truth and you feel it deeply, no one can harm you.
No.
That lady couldn't harm you as much as she tried,
I sent them
because
away.
you were in your truth, giving your best. So after you get mad initially, you can easily let that go and know
Holy.
it's not about you. It's about the other person.
Xavier, I know you have a very early morning tomorrow, so we're way over time. But I want to ask you one question. The final question we ask all our guests. Actually, there's 2 more questions. So you know what? Let's do this one. As a tradition on this show, the previous guest, not knowing who was coming next, writes down a question for the upcoming guest. So the question that was left for you from our prior guest is, what are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of... Oh, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid if I was going under the water, like under the ocean, I will be afraid to be by myself in the ocean, like do like diving and stuff. I would not like that. Like I'm afraid to be in a swimming pool by myself.
Do you feel unsafe?
Yeah, kind of. Like my parents had swimming pools on the Riviera, and I don't like to be in the water by myself.
Do you know why?
No,
It's just the way it is.
no, because I could swim.
He was on the Titanic in another lifetime.
There you go. And our final question, because I really know, if you could share any advice. So basically, if your great-grandchildren, if your son's kids' saw this on YouTube in a long time from now, and you could tell them something, what would you tell them?
I'll say, try to not work as hard as I did to make a living. Don't work as hard. Try to find another job.
Well, that would make them the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. They'd be 8th generation.
Yeah,
I think.
might be an easier way to do it. So,
Is there anything else you would say to them? There doesn't have to be. You can say no. That can
No.
be it. I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Maybe I should have given you that one before you came on, too. But no, that's a very good answer. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. This was
welcome.
wonderful. This was
Was
a
fun.
wonderful conversation. Yeah, I hope you had fun, and we'd love to have you back. And I learned a lot, so thank you very much, Xavier. And for those still with us, we'll be back in a few minutes for the after show. My dad and I will talk about our key takeaways from tonight, so stay tuned. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. That was fun.
We'll be in.
Yes, we will be.
We love your pastry and food.
You're not going to come back with one pastry, no?
No, that
No.
Because then I
won't
won't see you anymore.
we usually empty the box by the time we go over one bridge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Genuinely.
Thank you.
So what'd you think?
Exactly what I thought when I met him. He's someone who's living his truth and his passion, and he's very realistic about it. It's to be in that business 4 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. Not now. Now it's not quite that long. And no regrets. But it's something he wanted to do from when he was a child. What do you do when you don't know?
What do you mean?
When you don't know what you want to be. That, universal question, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of people go through their whole lives not figuring out what they want to be when they grow up. He's a person
That knew always.
that always knew. So he could let go and let what comes. But also sounds like someone who really heeded a lot of advice from people. So that kind of role model to me is incredible.
It's a lot of work to do what he does.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea.
Cook. Keep going and keep cooking on and on and on.
But at the level and quality that he is creating at, and he drives a Harley.
Yeah, Gail likes Harleys.
Gail likes Harleys. She used to drive them.
That's right. Interesting, his family story. Both his grandfather and his dad were had a run-in with the Germans. Shouldn't say the Germans, but because we're on YouTube, you can't say the Nazi thing. So I guess we'll just say the Germans.
During World War II. Didn't have any holidays growing up.
No. But he didn't know that holidays were a thing, so he didn't know he was missing anything.
Right, but later on...
I can't imagine that.
I know, but later on, as an adult, he could still be bitter about it, but he's not at all. And his wife, Karen, made sure that balance came into his life.
I know Gail did the picture of the stockings and the lights, so that was very good. So people could see that they do decorate at Christmas a lot.
Right.
So it's very festive.
And their bakery has their warmth when you're in there.
Absolutely.
It's more like a house than a bakery.
Mm.
And there are people who go in there every time we're in there, 6, 8 people sitting around the table, just talking and chit-chatting. I mean, it could be your grandmother's house with all her friends sitting around the table, just talking. That's why it feels, so you have that incredible food, the warmth of the environment.
And the warmth of the people he hires. I find it very interesting that even though he doesn't like, or he doesn't have the time to really talk to customers, but the two people out front are incredibly nice, and that doesn't feel like fake nice from either of them.
No, right.
It feels like real nice, which is, you get a customer service agent. Hello, thank you for calling such and such. How may I help you? It's not the same kind of nice as a real person who's interested in
Sometimes says, hi, how are you? Other times she doesn't.
Yeah, but you can tell when she smiles that she likes whatever she's doing, I think.
No, she just thinks we're crazy.
Crazy, yeah, well.
So she smiles.
Smiles. Well, she's not that far off, right? What was your key takeaway from that? I'm curious. I'm trying to think of what mine would be to distill it.
Mine is definitely take the time to figure out so you never have to work a day in your life, even if the work is difficult. What is it that brings you fulfillment and happiness? And that doesn't mean you have to sit home, be uptight, trying to figure it out. That means be open enough and just go do some things and see where that takes you, because everything that you do, every experience leads you towards what it is you really want. And the ultimate is not to feel like you're working. Even though look at how hard
He works.
Xavier works, but it isn't work to him.
Because I think we would be able to taste it if it were just work to him. It would taste commercial. It would taste like everything else. There really is a genuine, if you have the opportunity to go try it, there really is a genuine difference in taste for me. And of course, I mean butter. Butter. If you eat too much of that, you get in trouble. But anyway, at any rate, every once in a while, I think those kind of treats put a smile on people's faces. That
Absolutely. And he had me at the chocolate croissants. I mean, we don't have to get into all the other things. It's just delicious.
But I'm conflicted with what he was saying about. It seems like he loves what he does, but it's still work to him. He still works to have the Harley and live the quality of life, and so it's not the type of situation where you love what you do so much that it doesn't even feel like work at all.
So my answer to that is,
It wasn't a question, but that's okay.
I know. When you get to be a certain age,
It's a lot.
and you've done it your whole life, even if you love it physically, he was basically saying physically, he
Doesn't want to stand for 8 hours a day.
no
anymore.
doesn't want to stand for 8 hours a day anymore. I mean, could you possibly fault that? But He was telling you he worked from 4 a.m. till 8 at night
For a year. That's got to add up to more than, let's do the math.
just for a year.
He said for a year, for the first year, for startup year, I believe. So wait a minute. They say you have to work for 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, right? So 8 p.m. to 4 p.m., 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., to 1 p.m. is
4 a.m. to 4 p.m. is 12 hours. 4 to 8 is 4 hours. That's 16
16
hours a day.
times 6
Six.
days a week times 52 weeks. 4,992 hours to build the first store. So halfway to an expert.
Incredible.
Incredible.
So,
And then now it's been 34 years. So wait a minute. That's 1 year, right? That we calculated?
yeah, but
Now do it times 30. Oh, but we didn't
No,
go
right.
crazy.
So, to finish up,
Go ahead. Say what you want to say. I'll be right back.
have the life experiences you have or that come your way. And if you still don't know what it is you want to do when you grow up, stop having anxiety around it. Just go out there, do an experience, and it will come to you. You will absolutely know what your life's purpose is, what your passion is, and what your truth is. Just like I say to Julius all the time, when you're in your truth, no one can hurt you. And you don't live with regret. Every experience you've had has brought you to this moment. So just go out and enjoy and be, and don't judge yourself.
I don't think anyone has no regrets. But anyway, we'll come back to that next time. I just want to take a moment to thank our team. Gail Diodati is our live production manager. Soham Khan is our chief critic and social media director.
Chief critic.
Yes. Michael Perenunzi is the host and executive producer, and I'm your co-host, Julius Perenunzi.
He went by that really quickly because I'm sure there's another piece of equipment he wants.
Yeah. Our final quote on the way out tonight is, quote, "I have the simplest of tastes. I am always satisfied with the best." By Oscar Wilde?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I had written down, but that was all. Anyway, I've heard the name Oliver a million times today, so I'm sorry. By Oscar Wilde. Looking forward to seeing you next week, everybody. Cheers.